In the first place, I would like to send you to the base website, the website we are going to use throughout the year, and you will have to resort to, which is Gloima, www.gloima.com. So on the left hand side, you have a menu, and obviously you have to come to the second command of the menu, which is 2C1 2025-2026 lesson plans. So if you click here, that will lead you directly to the platform where we will keep our lesson plans every week. So as you can see, here we have the dates, and I will for the time. I mean, at present, I am thinking of, as usual, as I've always done, to add a weekly lesson plan. So everything related to that week will be posted there. So if you come to this week, to the current week, you will see that we have two posts. The one on the left is the lesson plan, and the one on the right is, let's say, the first issue of the magazine we are going to use from now on. I mean, as I will remind you later, we are not going to use any book at all. And then, if you like, I will justify why I am not using any book um, with you this year. But the good thing about a magazine, in contrast with a book, is that it allows me to bring together many different things, obviously related things, which go around a central item. But they are different. They do not have to deal with the same topic, for example. But they might have something else in common, which I consider probably more relevant and more important. So this is issue one of the magazine, and you will see what there is in that issue one. So to start with, if you click here, you come to the lesson plan that I will post every week. So in the first place, the introduction, which is exactly what I am doing, and in the second place, I have put administrative information, which is quite relevant, especially in your case. Well, this administrative information, if you click on that link, it will lead you to a OneDrive folder. So if you want to have access to that OneDrive folder, you need certain certain details which you have to introduce, and which I cannot give you through this means. I have to give them to you personally and privately during an on-site lesson. Some of you will have them, some others won't have them. So you need them, because without them, you cannot have access to all Conselleria's platforms that we are supposed to use during the blended course. This is one of them. So in this OneDrive folder, I might post all the documents that I consider relevant, and so you can have access to them, but always if you have those data that Conselleria gives you, because this is part of Conselleria's platform. So in the first place, well, to start with, if you will allow me, I will come here. Vale. You have the instructions where they explain to you what you have to do if you don't like or probably your schedule changes, or you would like to try the other teacher, or so if you want to change your group or your schedule, or if you say, okay, I cannot make the most out of this, I would like to renunciar a la matrícula. and there is a certain deadline to do that with certain requirements depending on the deadline. So everything is there. Uh, the next is for underage students, which is, I mean, I have to control their attendance much more strictly than if you are overage, over 18. Then here you have the calendar. This is the calendar. You have a link to the calendar, but take a look at the calendar carefully at home. I'm not gonna do it here, obviously. That's a kind of guide that Conselleria has released, and the same for underage students. I'm not going to stop here today. This is the website that I told you before with the menu the menu command that I told you about before. So introduction to module 3, gearing up issue 1, which is the issue is the same issue that you have here. Okay. Okay, this is a general index of what we have within the issue, but let's say that the same index, more or less, has been posted here because I have broken it down into the different sections within that issue. So here you have links to a specific section, but all those sections have been included in the issue. The first important thing, and the next link that you have here is Teams. So what is Teams? Teams is a platform that Conselleria has enabled, which is, you have your own team platform, which is important because, for example, if something like what has happened this week happens, we can have a Teams session, especially to replace the on-site session that we cannot do. It's not the same as doing it in the school, but at least we do not miss the lesson as we have today. Why didn't I send out a link to Teams on Ithaca this week? Simply because some of you might have the Conselleria data that you will be requested to introduce, and some of you won't have them. And that includes the students that took their placement test last Friday. So most of them are new students, and so they are not aware, they don't know that they have certain details, administrative details, which they have to introduce into the platform if they wish to take part. So it wouldn't have been fair, I think, if we had conducted the class considering that there are people who have been shut out. And that's why I didn't do the Teams lesson this week. But in subsequent weeks, we will, if anything like this happens, we will have a Teams session online for those who wish to connect, obviously. There will be more placement tests, but the people who access through the subsequent placement tests are perfectly fully aware that they have missed out of certain classes. So missing out of one more will make no difference. But now we are starting, and I didn't want to introduce the details of the year when there are people who cannot really have access to the platform. So Teams, if you click here, it leads you to Teams. Give me a sec, give me a sec. This is your team. You see, this is the name of your group. And we have several commands here. A very important command here, that you have to get familiar with, is this command of assignments. Why? Because I will post all the assignments in this section, and I will receive feedback on who has opened the assignments and who hasn't opened the assignments. I mean, my intention is not tyrannizing you. That's not my intention. But if Conselleria decides to examine and to keep a record of who attends, who doesn't attend, which teacher is in the school is controlling or not, we need to have something to offer and to show them. So it's not that I'm going to tyrannize you, as I said. You are my students, and I'm going to try to help you as much as I can. But I need to have something to offer the authorities if they require my, let's say, report on how I am controlling the whole year. So the assignments will be posted here. Anyway, those assignments will also be posted on gloima.com. But I would be very grateful if you open them from here, because that way I will keep a record of how many of you do the assignments and how many don't. So here we have, there may be more things, but for the time being, the assignments and the main channels. The channel is precisely that, a channel. So we can open a different branch for different topics if we wish to. And the general channel here is where I will post most of the information that we need. We might open a channel by dates, which is what I did last year, but I don't think that I like that idea too much. Probably I will open the channel. I don't know what I will do in the end, because sometimes you have to adapt to the way in which the course goes on. But we come along. But or for example, a channel based on skills, or based on specific areas of the language. I don't know what I will do. But since we can keep track of the lessons openly, I don't think I should. I'm not sure whether I will do it just for the sake of Conselleria, but I don't think it's so necessary. Probably areas of language. I don't know. Mainly the general. I will post a link to the same files and the same materials that will appear on gloima.com, so that Conselleria keeps a record of what we are doing and that we are doing something. So here you have the general channel, and within the general channel we'll have the posts. The post is simply that I add. It's as if we were a chat. Hello, everyone. Okay. Simply a welcome post. You will see the post there as if it were an ordinary chat. So you can reply to my post, or you can even give me feedback on something if I ask you feedback on something. Okay. And there is a file section here. And in the file section, pues I have added, this is an automatic folder that appears on Teams. I have added the student folder that you have on OneDrive. So I might add a link to OneDrive on the lesson plan on gloriadoima.com, but it's the good thing about gloima.com is that it's open. You do not have to introduce anything. And here you have to introduce the password, you have to introduce, but at least a minimum of that. We will have to have a minimum of that. But it's much direct and straightforward if we do it on an open platform. But I will do it both ways. So here you have another link to the OneDrive folder where you keep all the academic documents that you need. Okay, this is regarding Teams. When we skip a lesson because of the rains, for example, you will receive through Ithaca, through your web familia, you will receive a message giving you a link. How some of you know what web familia is, and others don't. Web familia is a general big platform that Conselleria hosts to keep, let's say, control upon the whole um, bulk of students in every single field of education that they are controlling. So you have information about that in this folder in OneDrive, where they tell you what it is and how you can have access to it, and you really do need to have access to it because your grades and your attendance will appear there, and this is the record that Conselleria receives, so you need to have access to it through Web Familia. So through Web Familia, my Ithaca, you will receive a message with a link to this meeting, to the meeting that we will have if there is a, a class suspension for any reason. Anyway, here you will have the meeting too, because you will receive a post. There will be a post. And in the post, they will give you the link to that meeting. So we can avoid missing classes in as much as possible, thanks to the Teams platform. And we used it last year and it did work. So Teams is a very useful platform that I prefer. I prefer it over Aules. Aules is a very good platform, but it's a little bit, I feel a little bit encaged in there because we cannot, we are constrained by the platform itself, and that's something I do not like too much. That's why I prefer this. And the type of exercises are a little bit too closely guided. So when you have to pick a letter A, B, C, D in a multiple choice, when you have to fill in a blank, you do not produce. And I don't like that type of exercise. It's very nice, very modern, very attractive to the student, but I'm not sure that's sufficient, and that's not certainly not my methodology, as we will see later. So I prefer to give you probably as a teacher of the old school that I am, I prefer to give you the exercise with the key. You do the exercise and then you have a key. But in the exercise, I might ask you, okay, as this is an open exercise, either do it in writing and send me the written reply, or do it in an audio and send me the audio and I will give you my feedback. Okay? I prefer that, but you're producing something. It's not merely just associating question with answer, answer with question, which from my point of view is not educationally efficient.